Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Diri Nashtaprayeshu Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 20, Conversation between Maitreya and Vidura, text number 39 onwards. Visarja tanum tam ve jyotsnam kanti matim priyam sayev chadadu pritya vishwasu purogamaha. After that, Brahma gave up that shining and beloved form of moonlight. Vishwasu and other Gandharvas gladly took possession of it. So after that means after he created the body and the mode of goodness, the shining body, Brahma gave that up also, and the Gandharvas and Vishwasu, they took it. Srishtva bhuta pishachanscha bhagwan atmatandrina digvasaso mukta keshan viksha chami layadrisho. The glorious Brahma next evolved from his sloth, the ghosts and fiends, but he closed his eyes when he saw them stand naked with their hair scattered. Ghosts and mischievous hobgoblins are also the creation of Brahma. They are not false. All of them are meant for putting the conditioned soul into various miseries. They are understood to be the creation of Brahma under the direction of the Supreme Lord. So then from his sloth he created his ghosts and hobgoblins, bhoot, pret. So they're not false, they are there. They just don't have any gross body. They have the subtle body. They don't have the gross body. Jagruhustad visrishtam tam jrimbhakhyam tanum prabhu Nidramindriya vichodyo diyaya bhuteshu drishyate yenoschishthan dharshayanti tam unmadam prachakshate. The ghosts and hobgoblins took possession of the body thrown off in the form of yawning by Brahma, the creator of the living entities. This is also known as the sleep which causes drooling. The hobgoblins and ghosts attack men who are impure, and their attack is spoken of as insanity. The disease of insanity or being haunted by ghosts takes place in an unclean state of existence. Here it is clearly stated that when a man is fast asleep and saliva flows from his mouth and he remains unclean, ghosts then take advantage of his unclean state and haunt his body. In other words, those who drool while sleeping are considered unclean and are subjected to be haunted by ghosts or to go insane. So something to be very careful of. So better or best thing is to wash your mouth or do the paste in your teeth before you go to sleep. Or, I mean, this is one example of unclean body when the ghost they take advantage and they can haunt them. There are other items also. So any unclean state of existence invites ghosts and hobgoblins. In fact, one lecture I was listening to, and Prabhuji mentioned that when people go to all these clubs at night, they drink, and some people take drugs or something else. They say it's not the person. It's there are entities who take possession of that body, and they are the ones who want to really drink or enjoy these kind of ignorant or unnecessary items. So the person who's drinking or who's paying, he thinks he's enjoying, but no, these bodies, these ghosts and the subtle bodies, they take over, and they are the ones who make this person do all these things. But obviously, the first desire is of this person who to go to bars and clubs and try to enjoy, but he doesn't really even uh, enjoy anything. So these unclean habits and unclean places are full of these ghosts, hobgoblins, and other entities. So one should avoid. One should avoid going to those places. And just like in the chapter of Krishna killing Putna, Prabhupada mentions wherever there is a chanting of holy name going on, that place, these kind of entities, they cannot stay. They run away from that place. In fact, in Allahabad, when Prabhupada went there, before even he was initiated, he went there and he found a house. And that house, he got it at a very good deal because the house was haunted. And Prabhupada went there and he started doing his kirtan. And the ghost who was there, he disturbed him for a while, but then he left. He could not stay there because Prabhupada Harinam was there. Of course, Prabhupada himself was there and Harinam was there. So this kind of ghost, he could not stay there. He left. And he could not harm Prabhupada either. ऊर्जस्वन्तं मन्यमाना आत्मानं भगवानजः साध्यान् गणान् पितृगणान् परोक्षेणात्सृजत् प्रभुः. Recognizing himself to be full of desire and energy, the worshipful Brahma, the creator of the living entities, evolved from his own invisible form, from his navel, the host of sadhyas and pitas. The sadhyas and pitas are invisible forms of departed souls, and they're also created by Brahma. Basically, Brahmaji is the secondary creator. Originally, they're created by Krishna. And now, how Brahma is creating everything, that is coming into picture. आत्मसर्गम tam kayam pitara pratipedire sadhyebhyascha pitribhyascha kavyo yad vitanvate. The Pitas themselves took possession of the invisible body, the source of their existence. It is through the medium of this invisible body that those well versed in the rituals offer oblations to the sadhyas and pitas in the form of their departed ancestors on the occasion of Shraddh. Shraddh is a ritualistic performance observed by the followers of the Vedas. There is a yearly occasion of 15 days when ritualistic religionists follow the principle of offering oblations to the departed souls. Thus, those fathers and ancestors who, by freaks of nature, might not have a gross body for material enjoyment, can again gain such bodies due to the offering of Shraddha oblations by their descendants. The performance of Shraddha or offering oblations with prasad is still current in India, especially at Gaya, where oblations are offered at the lotus feet of Vishnu in a celebrated temple. Because the Lord is displeased with the devotion service of the descendants, by His grace He liberates the condemned souls of forefathers who do not have gross bodies, and He favors them to again receive a gross body for development of spiritual advancement. So this is basically the Shraddh ceremony. So, and this is what Arjun was afraid of. If the Varna Sankar happens, unwanted progeny, then the Shraddh ceremony will stop. Then the ancestors, they'll just go down to hell. So Prabhupada is explaining, thus those fathers and ancestors who by freaks of nature might not have a gross body for material enjoyment, they get benefited. So, so those ancestors who maybe for whatever reason, Prabhupada say freaks of nature, for whatever reason, they haven't gotten the gross body to enjoy or to carry on with their activities. So the descendants, when they perform the Shraddha ceremony, then, oh, and in the Shraddha ceremony, what happens? When the oblations are offered at the lotus feet in a celebrated temple in Gaya or other places, especially at Gaya, then the ancestors are offered Vishnu Prasad. Rest all the rituals are there. They make like five pindas and do whatever rituals they do. Those Brahmins over there. And the ancestors are offered Vishnu Prasad by mantras. So they can come, and they do come if it is offered properly. They do come in the subtle body. They accept Vishnu Prasad, and then Vishnu Prasad is so powerful that then these ancestors, they get a gross body. They get eligible to get the gross body because all their sins are wiped out by having Vishnu Prasad once. So just imagine those people, devotees who are having or who are honoring Vishnu Prasad, chanting Krishna's name every single day. What kind of uh, destiny is awaiting them? This is all by mercy of Prabhupada. We are even trying to understand. Otherwise, even we used to, and still so many people think this is all superstition. Have you seen anybody coming and eating that prasad? So, but no, this is not superstition. This is mentioned in scriptures, and Prabhupada took time to explain it. And it is the truth. Actually, it happens. And many times people ask, I have explained this many times, especially in the 6-day session. People do ask, then the ancestors came in the subtle body, so they accepted the prasad, they ate and they went away, but the prasad is still there. Now, what to do with it? Now it depends upon the faith of the person who's offering it. If we have faith in Krishna Prasad, then we'll eat it. What's going to happen to Krishna Prasad? Nothing. And if you don't have faith, at least give it to a cow or somebody. Don't just trash it. It's Krishna Prasad, ultimately, or Jagannath Prasad, or Vishnu Prasad, whatever. So actually, the Shraddha ceremony can be done at home also. See, for devotees, the life is actually very easy. All these rituals are very easy. What they have to do? They're at home, prepare bhoga, offer it to the Lord, do some kirtan, offer it nicely to the Lord, and then you pray to the ancestors, please come and accept this prasad. And the ancestors can come. Why not? And they can have the prasad and then they go on with their new bodies and you can have the feast afterwards. There's no problem at all. The easy way to do a Shraddha ceremony. Unfortunately, by the influence of Maya, the conditioned soul employs the body he gets for sense gratification, forgetting that such an occupation may lead him to return to an invisible body. The devotee of the Lord, or one who is in Krishna consciousness, however, does not need to perform such ritualistic ceremonies as Shraddha, because he is always pleasing the Supreme Lord. Therefore, his fathers and ancestors who might have been in difficulty are automatically relieved. This is the mercy of the Lord. The vivid example is Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj requested Lord Nrsimhadev to deliver his sinful father, who had so many times offended the lotus feet of the Lord. The Lord replied that in a family where a Vaishnav like Prahlad is born, not only his father, but his father's father and the fathers, up to the 14th father back, are all automatically delivered. The conclusion is that the Krishna consciousness is a sum total of all good work for the family, for the society, and for all the living entities. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the author says that a person fully conversant with Krishna consciousness does not perform any rituals because he knows that simply by serving Krishna in full Krishna consciousness, all rituals are automatically performed. So, just for the sake of performing rituals, he doesn't perform. But, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also went to Gaya to offer oblations to his father, for his father. And so just to keep the tradition alive, one can perform the Shraddha. A devotee can perform Shraddha. So that the traditions are not just gone away, done away with. So to keep the traditions alive, one can, but understanding the essence of the Shraddha is in pleasing the Supreme Lord. So that we are trying to do every day anyway. So, and like Prabhupada said, up to 14th father back. Of course, in the story of Prahlad Maharaj, it was mentioned 21 generations, 10 before, 1 current, and 10 future generations of Prahlad Maharaj. Nrsimhadev said they all delivered. So, delivered in the sense that, of course, they are not going to go back to Goloka, Vaikuntha Lok without doing any bhakti. So delivered in the sense that they all get a chance, and very good chance, of coming into devotion service. But after that, the progress depends upon them. But in our cases, we are not at the level of Prahlad Maharaj in the terms of purity and surrender. So in our cases, it might be at the most 3 generations. Maybe our parents and ourselves and our future kids or whatever. So even if 3 generations who might get some mercy of the Lord, that is still a very good deal, actually. And also, the Lord actually becomes obligated to the family in which a devotee is born, in which a person takes up devotion service. The Lord becomes obligated to that family. And then he gives them, so it may act as a very powerful Agyat Sukriti for that family. So becoming a devotee is very, very beneficial. So if somebody stops you from chanting and going to temple and doing devotion service, we can always tell them, show them this purport and say, because of me performing devotion service, my dear father, mother, you will also get benefited. So you can watch TV, no problem. Let me do bhakti. Siddhan vidya dharanshchaiva tirodhanen swasrijat tebhyo adadattmatmanam antardhanakhyam adbhutam. Then Lord Brahma, by his ability to be hidden from vision, created the Siddhas and Vidyadhars and gave them that wonderful form of his known as the Antardhan. Antardhan means that these living creatures can be perceived to be present, but they cannot be seen by vision. So this is Brahmaji's ability, and he gave it to Siddhas and Vidyadhars. स किन्नरान् किं पुरुषान् प्रत्यात्म येन सृजत् प्रभुः मान्यन्नात्मनात्मानम् आत्माभासं विलोकयन्. One day, Brahma, the creator of the living entities, beheld his own reflection in the water, and admiring himself, he evolved Kim Purushas as well as Kinnars out of that reflection. Te tu tajjud jagruhu rupam vitaktam yat parmeshtina mithuni bhuya gayantas tame voshasi karma bhi. The Kim Purushas and Kinnars take possession of that shadowy form left by Brahma. That is why they and their spouses sing his praises by recounting his exploits at every day break. Hmm. The time early in the morning, 1.5 hours before sunrise, is called Brahm Muhurat. During this Brahm Muhurat, spiritual activities are recommended. Spiritual activities performed early in the morning have a greater effect than in any other part of the day. So that is why it's called Brahm Muhurat. It's very auspicious and shadowy form of Brahma is taken by Kinnars and Kim Purushas, and they sing his glory, sing his praises, or sing the praises of the Supreme Lord. Dehan vai bhogvata shayanu bahuchintaya sarge anupchitte krodhat utsasarjha tadvapuhu. Once Brahma lay down with his body stretched at full length. He was very concerned that the work of creation had not proceeded apace, and in a sullen mood he gave up that body too. Ye ahiyan tamuta kesha ayasteyang jaggire sarpaha prasarpataha krura naga bhogo rukandhara. O dear Vidura, the hair that dropped from that body transformed into snakes. And even while the body crawled along with his hands and feet contracted, there sprang from it ferocious serpents and nagas with their hoods expanded. So see the different mentalities of Brahmaji is helping in creating different kind of creatures, different kind of bodies. But Brahmaji is letting go of those mentalities. स आत्मानम् अन्यमान कृत्यम् एवात्मभू तदा मनो न ससर्जान्ते मनसा लोक bhavanam. One day Brahma, the self-born, the first living creature, felt as if the object of his life had been accomplished. At that time he evolved from his mind the manus who promote the welfare activities of the universe. तेभ्यः सोऽसृजत् स्वीयं पुरं पुरुषमात्मवान् तान् दृष्ट्वा ये पुरः सृष्टा प्रशशंससु प्रजापतिम्. The self-possessed creator gave them his own human form. On seeing the Manus, those who had been created earlier, the demigods, the Gandharvas, and so on, applauded Brahma, the Lord of the universe. So now he created Manus, who are going to take care of this creation and take it further. Aho eta jagat srishta sukritam bhatte kritam pratisthita kriya yasmin sakam annam adamahe. They prayed, O creator of the universe, we are glad what you have produced is well done. Since ritualistic acts have now been established soundly in this human form, we shall all share the sacrificial oblations. The importance of sacrifice is also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, chapter, verse 10. The Lord confirms there that in the beginning of creation, Brahma created the Manus, along with the ritualistic sacrificial method, and bless them, continue these sacrificial rites, and you will be gradually elevated to your proper position of self-realization, and will also enjoy material happiness. All the living entities created by Brahma are conditioned souls and are inclined to lord it over material nature. The purpose of sacrificial rituals is to revive gradually the spiritual realization of the living entities. That is the beginning of life within this universe. These sacrificial rituals, however, are intended to please the Supreme Lord. Unless one pleases the Supreme Lord, or unless one is Krishna conscious, one cannot be happy either in material enjoyment or in spiritual realization. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna very summarized, he was summarizing everything. So he said, in the beginning, I created demigods, host of demigods, and the sacrificial five features. So you perform the sacrifice and remain happy. So here it is mentioned how everything is created. Brahmaji created Manus, and he created the sacrificial methods. And Manus, they told him, yes, you have done it, done a nice job, and we'll follow your guidance. So, so the purpose of sacrificial rituals is to revive the spiritual realization. So sacrifice is done for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu. And yagyarthat karmananatra lokoyam karma bandhana. So work is supposed to be done for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu, and that is sacrifice. So sacrifice, when it is done properly, and the demigods also take their share, and in return they give material prosperity to the person who's performing sacrifices. And so he lives happily in the material world, and after he leaves this body, he goes back to the spiritual world. So it's a win-win situation if you just perform the sacrifice. And the sacrifice in this day and age recommended is Sankirtan Yajna. So other yagyas we cannot do. Sankirtan Yajna, anybody and everybody can do. And with this Sankirtan Yajna performance, of course, we do it for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, for pleasure of Krishna, for pleasure of Guru. But in the process, we get plenty of material. Brahm Sokyam Tvanantam, or Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. That's how Sankirtan Yajna is described. It gives unlimited pleasure. Even if we don't do it properly, still it gives lots of pleasure. And it makes us eligible to go back to God. It makes us, it purifies us. So it's a win-win situation. The only thing we have to do is perform the Sankirtan Yajna in this day and age properly. So we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, these you mentioned about the ritual which happens after a body pass away during like the 13 or 12 days ritual, and I know because I just did for my maternal grandmother, and it's like for the first 9 days for women and 10 days for men. That is the Shudh
Okay.
Kriya happens on the 10th day. But usually does this is uh, uh, like what we know is a Maha Babhan, or like there are also Brahmins who do it, but they are the ones who especially perform these kind of activities. So I come to know that during these 10 days, because you can't use you don't bath properly with soap or anything, and you can't use shampoos or soap, and you are not, your body is not very clean. So, and you mentioned that like ghosts have an influence during this time. Is it is it true, really true?
No, not because your body is not clean, because all these days you do so much of other pujas and everything. I don't think those
Okay.
can take over you. I don't know. See, every family or community have different traditions. Uh, so I don't know. I cannot say for sure about the tradition in your family. In fact, I don't even know traditions in my family. I don't even know. Forget about following anything. So best is chant.
Because they gave me one knife, and I mean, this is first time happened in my life. So first time I'm doing this ritual. So one knife and one utensil they gave me, and they said that you have to keep this knife all of the time till 10 days with you, because there's
That's
an influence of
okay.
ghost on you.
That's okay. So whatever the tradition is, just it's okay. Follow, but chant at the same time chant.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, bro.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Adding to this, during this Shraddh process, we have like Gajendra Moksha part, but they say don't read it otherwise. And I was like, if I don't read, how will I understand this complete process? It describes how you should live in, so that you can get a proper after death stuff. Like I'm just confused, like whether to read such books before as the ritual said, or just to avoid reading them.
I is it Gajendra or Garuda Puran? They say that you should read.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Garud Purana.
Yeah, the Garuda Puran is a. See, Garuda Puran. Although I haven't read it, I would love to read it because I'm hearing so much about it. It is basically the stories of different hells one can go to if they commit this sinful activity and that sinful activity, and how the Lord will rescue the person. So those who understand, really understand Garud Puran, that's why they get scared of reading it uh, some other time. But at least at the time when somebody has passed away, everybody's mind is little distracted and disturbed. So at least that time they should sit down and read, but they should follow also. So like Prabhupada explained nicely, is one is doing devotional service, he is pleasing the Supreme Lord. So he doesn't need to go through all these rituals. But this part people don't understand. What is the real goal of life? What is the value of life? Throughout life, they don't understand. And that after somebody dies, then they say Ram Nam Satya Hai. So why didn't you chant the name of Ram in the beginning? That's
Actually, I heard like
ignorance.
all these are done to.
Say again.
I was saying like I heard like all these are done just to teach the people alive attending those ceremonies, not for the body, not for the soul that has left the body. It is for the people who have alive and they can learn these things. Like only the Ram is the destiny and of what all should we do in our lifetime.
Actually, the soul is still around. When soul, although he has left the body, but he is so much attached to the body and the people related to the body. The soul is still around. So once we do, now the fashion is to do chauta, but otherwise we used to do terwa. So for 13 days, the soul remains in that area. So when we do this part of Garud Puran or some kirtan chanting, whatever, the soul at least now he has a chance to hear it and still move on to better destination. There is a chance.
प्रभु जी अब तो कोई रखता भी नहीं है गरुड़ पुराण सो सैड सीरियसली कि लोगों के घर में बुजुर्ग है ही नहीं तो कोई अपना सब जिसको जो है ठीक है चौथा करो और काम पे जाओ.
In fact, from ISKCON side, I had the opportunity to attend so many chauthas. So wherever I would go, I would have to give lecture normal, obviously. And the Pandit, one chotha, the Pandit was sitting, and I finished my lecture in half an hour. Normally it's 1 hour, the whole thing. So Panditji said, Prabhuji, you say whatever you're saying is very nice. I'm also learning. You keep on going. My work will be done in 5 minutes. So don't worry about me giving me time. I'll have my time. You continue with your lecture. So that is nice.
Prabhuji, अब तो विकल्प आ गया है. There is something called an alternate for Shraddh. Instead of 13 days, 2-3 दिन में उसको complete कर देते हैं. And then you can go do your usual activity, come back on 13th day and finish it off.
हाँ वही this is
ये
called
भी हो
चौथा.
रहा है. धीरे-धीरे I think people will
वो
tend to.
चौथा है ना अब.
हाँ वही तो है 3-4 days का.
क्योंकि people don't have time.
हाँ.
People don't have time these days to
I
spend time with
willingly
the,
took this. Yes.
yeah.
Prabhuji, I took it willingly कि 13 days to do it first. तो करता हूँ 13 days. And it was a tough time because of the peak winter time. You know, like I have to take bath in the morning and oh god, बहुत ही ज़्यादा tedious था सुबह का. And then one time food you have to eat at 4 o'clock. Like हमारा जो ritual होता है 4 बजे we'll just have once food. You can take it. But anyways, I wanted to know Prabhuji ki what exactly happens? कैसे perform होता है ये? What are the things? पिंड वगैरह बनाते हैं and all those things. Activity happens.
Yeah, those are done. And but the essence is you offer Krishna Prasad to the ancestor. That's all. That is the essence.
Yeah.
The rest, everything is different activities. So, chalo, we can stop here. You all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu.